What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. So welcome to this episode in regards to alt session really as well. So what we're going to do is run up to some total 2, total 3, have a brief understanding of what's going on in terms of the market. Are we bullish, are we bearish? And then from there we are able to actually decide, are we looking for longs on crypto and alts across the board? Are we looking for shorts? It's simple as that, right? And then from there, but yeah, we'll just go from there. We'll just play it one step at a time, and we see what's up going on there. Hopefully we get it. We'll do a couple of alts here and there. Some of them that I'm actually, I'm actually personally holding as well, in terms of a price action point of view. And then we'll go to the table. If we have some time and whatever you guys want, we can just look at a couple of them as well. So I am traveling to Dubai tomorrow, so I was planning to actually do a stream tomorrow. I don't know if I can fit that in. If I do, I will let you guys know on Twitter itself. If I can't, unfortunately, I won't be able to, and I'll try and do something probably Saturday itself. Then we'll do something just before the New Year's, and like a final stream before the end of year itself. But it all comes down to the timing itself, because obviously it's coming to the New Year's. You guys are going to be doing your own shit and whatnot as well. Same as here, like same from me and from my side of the other side of the pond. Where's my cigarettes? I'm looking for my cigarettes. There we go. So without further ado, this is an empty box. What for that have been? Shit, there we go. Dude, I smoke too much, man. But without further ado, we see what's going on. Does the sound low? Is the sound low? It's probably me just talking a little bit quieter than usual. So who do we have here? We got Steve. What's going on? We got Zishan Mahmood. Good to have you here too as well, brother. We got Mike. Good to have you there. At 1 p.m. in the US. I'm guessing this time is much more suitable for you guys compared to actually doing it a bit early on itself, or maybe a little bit later there. We got Zeva in the house there. We got Kaiser. Footsie, how's it going, Jay? It's good to have you here. Evening to you too as well. Happy New Year to you guys too as well. So again, I don't know if I'm going to do a stream for tomorrow or on Saturday. If not, Happy New Year, and I wish you all the best of luck. It's been a fucking ride and a half in crypto. A fucking ride, but we're only getting started. So let's get cracking there. So Michael Caffrey's in the house as well. So first things first, we're going to bring up total 2, right? Now, some of you guys understand how I play this game. Some of you guys are pretty new to who I am as well. I'm a range band trader. I like to see things in ranges. I always believe in one thing, right? I believe thoroughly in the idea that everything's in a range. It doesn't matter if it's a breakout. When we have a breakout, for example, if you ignore all this whoopsie daisy, if you ignore all this mess over here, right? There's a range over here. 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 Like everything's a range. It's all about like picking up the right points, right? Higher time frame levels are always going to be the key compared to lower time frame levels. So what I've got higher time frame, as you can see, got the range high, got the range low, and the mid range over here. So as you can see, this was back in freaking 2021. May 2021, and as you can see, we do a deviation to the upside, resistance, come down to the mid range, does a deviation, run these highs there, then shanks down back into the range lows, bearish market structure, and all this was just a deviation here. Now if this is a deviation, if my idea and the concept of ranges is correct, and this is all just a deviation, there's a range band over here like this. Yeah, it was this low over here approximately. I mean, no, that's a lie. July's low, which is this one over here, and then with July's high, which I believe is right over here. No, I think it's, yeah, right over here. July's high. That was a range band environment consolidation, leads to a breakout. Now the question is this is a retest here, or are we going to expand up all the way to the mid range? Was this a retest over here? Was this a retest for the expansion, or are we doing the breakout then retest? I don't know. I don't entirely know, but I think as it goes. But we're gonna try and break up the ideas and see what's going on. Trend doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, it's true. It doesn't give a shit. There's always a range. What's going on, Bon Biggie? Good to have you here, brother. Really good to see you there. So that's pretty much the idea. But one thing for certain, right? From a high time frame concept, right? Are you bullish by looking at this chart going into here, or are you bearish coming to here, like or going down lower here? That's the key thing. Now, when I look at these in terms of price action, what's going to be an area of resistance, right? So the key area of resistance is going to be somewhere around here, right? Around here. Let's just do like this, like that. That's the key area of resistance. Why? You see this sort of support over here. It pushes up higher. When we find support, push higher. Find support, push higher. It comes over here and it shanks down. So that's a key SR. So this is going to be a key point. So we are expecting price to have a magnet up. Oh, see, there's a shitty magnet there. We're expecting a magnet in here saying that price is attracted to the minimum point, at least to this. It's a fair value gap here, which we discussed before what a fair FVG is, but it really is come down to this. It looks to me that we are looking bullish in this higher time frame picture. I mean, to me personally speaking, on total 3, on total 2, right, I've got targets of one up the mid range. I generally believe we're going to go to the mid range, which is about $105 trillion market cap there. So if I start looking at lower time frames, right, and start working out what we're looking at, right, so there's an order block right here, right, there's one in particular right here, and there's another one in particular right there, right. So I don't know if you guys can see, it's literally an up candle here and up candle there. We've got a thin move over here. I know I'm not, let me zoom into it. It's much easier, right? Let's do that again, right? I wish I had a bigger screen on, like I wish I could go way across, but let me just zoom into here. So we've got one over here, an up candle here that acts as an order block there, and another one here that acts as a block here. So all I'm going to do is going to highlight that block, right, and then you're going to see where we are before we even go any further. Are we going to go higher or lower, or what's getting capped? That's what I'm looking at. So there's one over here, and that's that, and there's another one right over here, like that, right? And as you can see, can you see that when we push up, right, so we found resistance over here, we've just about found resistance there, we break above it, hold support, rallies up to the next block here, and that's acting as resistance, which means if we can reclaim this higher there, goes up higher, what we're looking for, the 105 trillion, which is the mid-range. That's what I'm looking for. That's as simple as it is. So it comes down to, right now, it's an area consolidation. If we get a push up, I'm quite happy to take longs. That's what it is, which is basically higher highs, higher lows, right? And that's one thing that you can look at as well, as it is there. So that's one thing I'm looking at. The second thing is, if I'm just looking at the daily. What's the trending market? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This low is the key low, right? So that's all we're looking at. We just want to make sure that we don't lose this area there. But zoom into this area here. I know we got a bit of a trend line. You can draw a freaking trend line if you want to. Let's fucking do one for the sake of argument's sake. Let's do this one over here. Like something. I think that's a suitable trend line there. Pretty much there. This low here, support. Could it pull back into this area here, which is perfectly fine. I don't really fucking mind. So if I just zoom into this area here and just focus on this price action, we've got this high that was acting as resistance. Can you see that? Resistance, breaks above it, support. It's an SR level. It's a very key SR level. What's the next level that we're getting capped at? It's somewhere. It's a bit tricky one if you ask me. Is it this one? I'll use this one over here. No, I'll probably use this one here. Yeah, I'll use this high over here. And what we got here is a deviation. It looks like a bit of a deviation here, right? So if we start closing underneath and starts breaking down, what's the next area of support? Going to go back into this area here, which is about 746 billion when it comes into the total 2. So if it pulls back, could I look for shorts? I could look for shorts, not a problem. But like, am I looking for shorts in trending market to the upside? I don't really do that kind of stuff, in my opinion. I'd rather play the flow. It's like you want to ride with the river. You don't want to fight against the fucking river. If you do so, you're fucking losing the plot here. I'm going to be honest with you. Take your profits, but you can take profits. But, when we start ripping and taking out stops on the upside, we take out stops to the upside there. So, yeah. So that's one idea. So we are playing within this area here. If we can actually reclaim and hold above this, get above this high, that's the sign to get continuation to the upside. Bring in the upper bands there, as you can see. That's the band there. That's the older block there. Those two areas here. Reclaim this, rally up to the next section area, 105 trillion. So we're just looking for longs if we can get a breakout. That's what it comes down to, a breakout to the upside, and we're looking for long. How much time did it took you to become a full-time trader? Ooh, it's a very difficult answer. So I started trading in 2017, made money, lost money in 2018. Bear market happened, started learning how to trade. And it took me a little while to become profitable, but then I learned scalping. When I came across scalping, it took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and that was it. I became like, my mind was very focused into scalping, and that's all I did. I played scalps. Now when it comes into the bull market itself, I was so focused on scalping, which was perfectly fucking fine, but the problem was I was missing the point from the bigger picture. That's my error. That's my biggest error. So yeah, Jay was a scalper too. I remember that really well. We were in SC's class together at the time as well, so shout out to Jay. she's actually, you know, always been quite a lovely person to me as well, and had, you know, been nice to me. So I've got nothing but respect for her. So it's different for everyone else. I mean, I don't look at it as like how long it became profitable. What I look at it is, am I better than I was last year? Am I much more sharper? Am I seeing things better? Am I making mistakes? If I'm making mistakes, what are the common mistakes I'm making? All right, and if I can like notice the common mistakes, how can I actually perfect it? Sometimes a lot of it is just being patient, you know, having a plan and rushing into it. Like the Solana trade that I took on Twitter as well. I was very open about that. I rushed into that trade. To be honest, I would have entered in anyway, right? And I would have got stopped out, but I rushed into that trade too quickly. But it's one of those things, you know, like sometimes I make mistakes. I'm a human being at the end of the day. And like even the greatest traders, in my opinion, I think they still make mistakes. Because like bias can be affected by the way you're seeing things. And some people take a little bit longer to actually change bias. So for example, like in the bull run, well, in crypto, a lot of people have been bearish for like, you know, for a very long time, you know, going into like saying 20k, 10k, whatever the numbers were. And obviously now we're making higher highs, got to like 28, got to 32, got to 34, and you can start to see how the snowball effect, the avalanche is actually growing and growing, and the bulls are getting stronger. So it's one of those ones where you've got to actually be a little bit more, I think you just got to look at what's working for you. For me personally speaking, I think like, I'm a lot better than I ever was. I'm a lot more sharper. I make less mistakes than I did before. I still make mistakes, don't get me wrong. I still get stopped out. I never have a 100% success rate. Anyone who claims to have a 100% success rate is fucking, I don't know, either they're delusional or they got something magical here which doesn't exist in this world, unfortunately, as well. Yeah, Footsie was very into DAX as well. She really loved her DAX stuff as well, so shout out to DAX as well. Fucking SPX has been fucking making a rally. I'm more of an SPX guy. Yeah, Bob is your motherfucking uncle, Mr. Moe. Appreciate that. So yeah, so that's what it comes down to. So that's total 2, total 3. One more thing, and then we're going to go into alts. Because I don't want to spend too much time onto this. It's just more of a concept of an idea. Are we bullish or we bearish? And then how we're going to play this. Same thing for total 3. Similar situation there. We got a quarterly range high, a quarterly range low, the mid range there. Same thing. Resist this high over here. Acts as resistance. There's a deviation. Acts as resistance. Sells off. There's a deviation there, sells up to range low, and all this was just a deviation of this range low here. So we've broken market structure. We were making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and then we started to make higher lows. You know, it's still making lower highs, but in reality, that's the last higher low, and then that's it, because we start making higher lows over here, right? And then market structure is taking out these highs, is bullish. So the question is, do we come back here for a pullback, right, and then rally up after the New Year's into the mid-range? I do think 685 billion on the total 3, reclaim that motherfucker, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we start rallying all the way to 983 billion on total 3. Then we'll figure out what happens. It's a range band environment. Some of you guys might be thinking I'm fucking cuckoo in the head. Yeah, a little bit. If you're a trader, I don't think no trader out there is fucking particularly sane. We're not normal human beings. We see things very strangely. I don't know about you guys, but I look at buildings, I'm like, yo, that's a fucking deviation there, you know, that's a fucking range high. So, you know, maybe it's just me. I'm just a fucking crazy bastard, innit? So, yeah, that's what I want to learn about. This lucky dip with crypto. What is it you want to learn about? Like the alt market. Basically, total 2 is basically Ethereum and alt. Total 3 is just alt itself, right? BTC goes up, ETH goes up. If ETH is overpowering BTC, then that means money goes into alt itself. So like, and you start seeing the total 2 and the total 3 a lot more bullish itself, and we're pushing up there. Same thing if we go down to lower time frame. What do we see? We're getting bullish market structure, like we just said. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Do we come back down for a higher low? Because this area here, oopsie, let me just move this into the middle. Right, so like this. Does it come back into this area here for support? Pushes back there. I'm not really too fussed. All support there. And then what's capping the market onto the upside? I'll say this high over here. Once we reclaim this high itself, and then that will give me clear signs to go up to 85 billion on the total 3, which means I'll be looking for longs on alts across the board. So if I have the general consensus that I'm bullish on total 2 and 3, I will have to be bullish on alts, right? So I'll be looking for longs. I'm not looking for shorts. I'm looking for longs, right? Pullbacks are pullbacks. as long as the structure is still intact, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, I don't know if I actually did this yesterday, but EBTC is looking more and more bullish by the time as well. So quick one as well, just to reiterate my views on in terms of being bullish in crypto itself. So on also especially EBTC, this is like basically a chart of the power of Ethereum and Bitcoin. As the chart goes up, basically Ethereum is pushing up. It's a lot more stronger than Bitcoin, which means that if Ethereum is stronger, money flows to alts. You start seeing your large cap, your mid cap, your low caps that all start popping up itself. But as they move down itself, and then money start flowing from the large, mid, and low back into Bitcoin itself, and that means Bitcoin is a more dominating factor, and Ethereum goes up. But I want to show you a very, very magical range there. Before I go through, let me answer this. Lebanon's asking, 1 minute. Bro, do you ever use support and resistance based on chart candles, or you find resistance and support based on fib? No, I just use ranges, bruv. Like literally is ranges. Like SRs you can use. So shout out to trader SC. SC actually loves his SRs as well. When I was under his lessons and whatnot as well, he really talks about a lot of SRs, and it works. It does work as well. But like, it's all come down to what works for you. For me, ranges tell me everything. You know, we get a deviation and we step back in. For example, right now, that's a range high and that's a range low. You can look at it as an SR, whatever you want to say. That's a deviation there, support here, deviation here. I'm looking at, is this a deviation there? What it is now, we've got a couple of things, right? So that's the key range low, right? We are looking at this, right? So there's a range within a range here. What is the range? The first range I'm looking at is this low here and then this high here, right? We're at range high. Can you see that? We're at the range high. What we have is a deviation there, resistance there, support here, and deviation here. Right off the bat, before going any further, I know for a fact, right, if I can actually get above this high, these are the 2 points I'm very interested in. So if price gets above here, that's bullish. If price get down below here, that's bearish. That's all it is, as simple as that. But if I'm bullish on total 2 and total 3, EBTC should be bullish too. We got a bit of a one of my favorite trend lines itself. Right here, this is this trend line there, cleanly actually asking, you know, you can see resistance all across the trend line there. You've broken up this high there. Any pullbacks is perfectly fine. I don't know, maybe a pullback into this level here. All right, and then reclaim that range low, show me bullish price action, get above this high, and that will give us further confirmation to long your fucking holds. That's all it is, okay? So Cam Ramo is saying trying to 25x my bad cycle. Who's with me? Do you know what? I think we can do a lot more better than 25x. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think we can fucking go 50, 100x. Sounds fucking crazy, but the best part is the halving is in here. The halving is in here. Retail hasn't even come on board. You have a better opportunity to buy into alts early on. For example, like Solana, it's at $100 itself. It went down to $10. It's a 10x there. I didn't get 10x there. I jumped in at 17, so it's more like a 5, 6, nearly 6x there. Not too far, but it's still. You know, I'm not gonna say that's 100x, but the lower caps are more about actually making more out of it. So you look at some of these legitimate ones out there. I'm in a couple of them, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think we can actually make some crazy numbers on this one. So, but honestly, I think it's a very important thing. Like, you know, you said 25x come. Think about what your portfolio is right now. Let me check to you guys quickly. I hate when this intro comes on. Yeah, have another cigarette as well. Think about your portfolio right now. So whatever your portfolio is worth, right? Let's just say it's worth like, I don't know, 10 grand. Let's bring a number there. 25x, like Cam was saying, is 250k. Now 250k, you gotta ask yourself, right? Would you have been able to work and earn that 250k? You know, like, are you able to actually get that in about 2 years, 3 years? Most likely, fucking no, innit? Right, I ain't gonna lie to you. Even with my wages back in when I was actually a professional, I wasn't earning that kind of cash, like lying around kind of thing. You know what I mean? So make your plan in terms of what you want to do with that money, and when the time comes, just take your profits and, you know, and make a difference in your life. Crypto is a means to something in the future, to grow yourself. It's not a means to an end. There's no such thing as retiring forever and disappearing in the sunset. Nobody does that in crypto. You know, you be like, all it does, right, it gives you an amount of money that, you know, helps you do more things before you could, you know, than ever. Because look at, for example, right, like housing itself is so fucking expensive now. You know, like if you look at houses back when my father bought his house, right, it's about 80 grand, 80,000 pounds. It's now worth about like 400,000 pounds as well. Now, like, this is in the span of 23, 24 years, and you're like, fuck, You know, like, could I actually earn that kind of money to actually get a house similar to his, like 400 grand, 300 grand? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. You know, like a pharmacist, like 20 years ago would have bought a fucking mansion. Me as a pharmacist right now, it's very difficult. I can't buy a mansion unless crypto will actually help me out. But you gotta find your thing. Like maybe you got a hobby, like or a dream. Maybe you want to open a restaurant or a car wash. Maybe you want to, you go to uni. Maybe you want to buy a house. Maybe you actually want to buy and sell cars. Whatever your dream may be, like crypto will give you that. It will help you actually push you into that kind of direction. So be smart with your money. Don't be fucking greedy. I've seen too many people get banned. I've been banned before. I don't want you guys to be banned, right? So it's a very horrible feeling. It's a horrible feeling. And the rest of the bear market, you just in sadness, depression. It can be. I've heard stories of suicidal. I'm not advocating it, but it's serious stuff. Because if you think about it, like some people may have got like $1 million, right? Never seen $1 million in their life. Then all of a sudden, like, is that like 10, 20K? Do you know what I mean? That's, and even guys saying like it's not making, that's my afraid, not making in this bull market. Like being here now is giving you the opportunity. You staying here throughout the bear market in 2022, you worked into it, you worked in your craft, got better, or had the right mindset. You've seen how this shit works, how horrible it gets. So use that as your story to tell you in the future. When it comes, when life is too good for you and you're like, yo, I'm chilling, and you feel like you want to chill on the yacht with your Versace t-shirt, like shirt, open up with your hairy chest blowing the fucking wind, that kind of bullshit as well. And like that's when you know, yo, get the fuck out, man. Take your fucking profits. That's seriously, honestly, if you start seeing, influencers posting watches and cars, get the fuck out, man. Start taking profits. If you start seeing like your grandma talking about crypto, start taking profits. Do you know what I mean? Look for a reason to get the fuck out. You shouldn't be staying in. No one should be staying in anything, right, bro? Like you're not staying indoors. Even if you're staying indoors, you can be up. Yeah, Jay, you're imagining it really, really in depth for you to respond as Ewan. Fucking hell. But yeah, I'm a crazy bastard, aren't I? But let's get back to work, yeah. So as I'm looking for, if I can reclaim this, after New Year's, perfectly fine. Bullish, go up to the range highs. And this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. Now, EBTC, I'm sure you guys have seen this a lot. This EBTC chart. I want to show you a few things, right? I'm going to zoom out. And to me, I'm going to talk about the ranges. And I'm going to pick this range low over here. And that range high over here. That's where liquidity was. Liquidity was resting down here, taking it out, deviation, find support, rushes up there. Now where does it rush into? It rushes into around the mid-range. A little bit higher. This is around the mid-range. It's the midpoint between these 2 points over here. That's where it is. So you can see the mid-range, as we discussed, deviation, and so on and so forth, is not able to reclaim. So I know for a fact, right, if we can actually reclaim this high, in particular, and take out this high there, that will give me confirmation for higher prices. So if we ever come back up and starts reclaiming these levels there, what's your next set of extended targets? It will be up to here. At the 0.1, trust me, they're going to start talking about flipping it. They did it in 2017, they're going to do it again in fucking 2024, 2025. It doesn't fucking change. I'm hearing stories about Solana flipping fucking Ethereum. Bruv, listen, sit your ass down. Solana might be making a lot of gains right now. But there's a lot of, look, I've got a bag of Solana in it, so I don't want it to fucking go down to zero in it. But at the same time, right, listen, it's fucking, like, if you guys know back in 21, the amount of shit Solana had trouble with, getting hacked, breaking down, it wasn't working and shit like that. Fuck that, man. You really think, like, people at BlackRock are going to start promoting a project that just shuts down that much? Unless they can fix it. But it's like dollar. Everyone thinks that, like, oh yeah, gold is better than dollar and whatever, this and that. On the long term, gold is good, but there's only one king in the currency world. It's dollar. Do you know what I mean? When you look at commodities, there's only one king in the commodity world. It's gold. You can bring your silver, your copper, your tin, your aluminium, and whatever fucking gas and oxygen and helium and stuff like that. But gold is the king. There's only one king when it comes to crypto. It's Bitcoin. When I look at a print, right, it's going to have to be fucking thingy. It's Ethereum. Solana's a new boy, bro. Shut the fuck up and sit down in it. That's what Ethereum's gonna tell it. And if BTC is looking so bullish, it's gonna teach Ethereum Solana a lesson, and it will. And when Bitcoin drops, trust me, it's not gonna be Bitcoin drops and then Solana drops. No, it's Bitcoin that drops, then Ethereum, and everybody bends the fucking knee. Okay? I mean, the chat just went wild for a second. Yeah. So Kai's been in for 2 years, going nice. You talk about dreams. Mine is to become a full-time trader. Dang, bro. Like, look, I'll be honest with you. Full-time trader is great, but it's a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of work. I don't think people talk about it too much as well. I'm not trying to discourage you, but this year has been a very good year for me. It's been a very tough year at the same time. I'm coming to exhaustion a little bit as well, so I'm gonna take some time off a little bit. But yeah, being a trader is quite good. It pays the bills. I'm quite happy with it. I don't make stupid amount of money like I'm a billionaire or millionaire. No, I don't gloat that stuff or whatever. That's none of my concern or whatever. If someone else makes more money than me, it's fine. But I look at it as from my own point of view. I'm quite happy where I am, and it's been a good blessing. So, but yeah, so it's all blessed. But yeah, going back to EPDC. This is the range band environment between these 2 points over here. Right, let me delete that. So I'm only showing you this the higher time frame picture just to give you the insight. So when we do break out, you guys can't be fucking surprised that we're going up to here because I fucking showed it to you. So all it is, right? We are stuck in this range band environment. This is the consolidation over here, just like this area here was all the consolidation over here for so long. It's the same situation. Bear market happened here. 2018 was bear market, and then we consolidated 2019, 2020, 2021 and broke out. Now bear market happened in 2022, which is over here. Let me delete that. There's too many fucking lines. Bear market happened over here, 2022, right? And we consolidated over here. Same thing as it's similar to this. Now once we break out of it, we can go for these targets. I'm not talking about this. Let's go to this first, and after that we'll see what happens next, right? In my opinion, which is I think it's fucking stupidly bullish. When I say stupidly bullish, it's not normal fucking for me to be like that anyway. But that's EBDC for you. So let's go into a couple alts, right? I want to talk about Solana first, right? So Solana, I made a mistake, right? Now, I'm going to explain the idea, right? And I've got a bit of a range band environment, as you can see. Bro, I love my ranges in it. So I've split this whole range band environment from that high to that low to this half there. That's the half there, and that's the half there, and that's the half. You get the point. This is all little sections there. But really and truly, let me just show you this, right? What I was this thing's a bit more. Here we go. I think this is it. So if I go on the weekly, this is the idea. Because you have to bear in mind, I'm bullish on crypto in it. I'm bullish on alts. So when I was looking at the weekly, I saw this high here is an order block. It's the last up candle to send the market down. Now all it showed us now that is we've just retested it's acting as resistance, clear resistance. I would have wanted it to hold this low here to show me what? To the mid-range, range high. And that was the range band environment that I had. So when I drop it down to like the hourly, right? I've got a bit of a trend line there. I'm looking for more bullish places there. And I'll explain the longs in just a moment there. Because you have to bear in mind, I'm looking for longs on crypto. Why? Total 2 is bullish. Total 3 is bullish. EPDC looks quite bullish. Ethereum has made a new high of the year. So we're looking quite pretty good. Pullbacks or pullbacks. I'm not really stressed out. It's the end of year. You know, like how many people is really going to be trading? A lot of people is going to be taking some time off. So when I look at this, right, that's the range low. All right. That's the range low. That's the range high. And the mid-range is around here, right? That's the mid-range, okay? If I delete everything off there, it keeps it simple. Now, for me, it looks like that we got a bit of a trend line. Let me just do one step at a time. I think I'm rushing into it. We've got a bit of a trend line going on. Let me just try and find the trend line. Something like this, right? What we got here is that high acts as a deviation, resistance, 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 and we're making lower lows. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? We are making lower lows. All I want to see is break out of this trend line there, reclaim this fucking range low. I'm happy to go in for a long, right? Because we bullish price action breaking out of trend lines, bearish trend lines itself. At the same time, this is my invalidation. If this is the low, this is my invalidation. I'm quite happy to do that, but I'm looking for Total to give me the sign to go long. Evening, Richard. Yeah, I'm looking for a long to go up there. A reclaim of the range level $105. We can start shooting up to the mid range, around nearly 124.50, and reclaim that motherfucker. Then we can go up. So that'd be target 1, and then reclaim this bastard, and then we can go for target 2, which comes into what, fucking 143.48. That's all it is. That's as simple as it is in terms of playing a range. I'm making a range before he even shows a range, and watch how when we get up to these areas, they're going to find resistance. Okay, so in my opinion, it's plausible. There's an area of support. What is support? You see this low over here in particular? Well, that's the support level. Right there, it was all resistance. Smashed above it. We'll come back for a retest. So when I entered in around here, I put a stop loss there, thinking that this range low was going to hold. Pretty silly. silly mistake, very very stupid. I'm gonna be openly said. You guys get the right to say, yo, you're a dickhead, Dank. This is the only time, hopefully, it's the only time you're allowed to call me a dickhead. But like, yeah, it was a dickhead move as well. But what can you do? You know, I took a loss of 1R, and even if I didn't enter here, I would have entered somewhere around the range low, right? It's that retest here. I would have looked to enter around here, and still put my stop loss there, because I would have believed that would be the low for me to for me to actually break out. What would have confirmed it, if we broke out these highs over here, for example, break out these highs, that gives me a breakout the trend line, bullish price action, go into the mid range to range high. That's all it is. So that's the Solana trade. Hopefully that helps out for you guys there. Okay. Any questions before we move on? Have a fucking sip of tea as well. Hopefully not. We're all good there. Like, really nice and easy. And if it does start to go lower, right? Fine. Fuck it. I'm not really looking to short nothing. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I could make a plan for shorts and whatever, but why am I going to make a plan for shorts if I'm not looking for shorts? Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to make a plan for you to look at both sides of the market if I'm only looking at one side of the market. So that's what I truly just think. Like, I'm looking for more bullish structures, and if I can't get a trade, I don't enter a trade. Best to save the money and wait for the New Year's, in my opinion. And then we have the yearly open, reclaim the yearly open, take the fucking longs. That's what it is. Simple as that. Now that's one. Let's look at Inch. Inch is one of those favorite ones as well that a lot of people is looking out for. But I see a bit of a range going on over here. I mean, like, I do think 40. Let's have a look. Bring up the levels. When it wants to, yeah. So yeah, that's the midpoint. So this area here is the extension of the range. So that this level here is previous range low. That's the 2.0 and that's the 0.5. All right. So we're coming into the midpoint between this high there and this low here. Okay. Now, granted, there's an area of support which will be off this area. Actually, that's where we actually come into. This here is what I would call a bearish order block, which has now become a breaker and is acting as support, right? Or rather than go on the 4 hours, to be honest. Let me go on the full. Higher time frame. Now let's do that. I think that would be fine. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Right, so if I just hide all this shit, right now we are coming into this area there. I'm quite happy to see that. Well, that looks like support. If I want to go for a long, I can put a stop loss below here, perfectly fine. If I want to add on some trend lines to actually add further confluence or resistance, I've got something like this. So all I need to do is break out the trend line, hold above the trend line, and I can start looking for highs for like potentially these highs over here. So that's one thing. Let me zoom in. Let me make this bigger. I don't like it like that. It looks fucking funky in it, right? Yeah. There we go. That's better. So what we got here, let me draw this out again. So we've got that area there, and we're looking for the for potentially these highs if we can show bullish price action, higher price, and whatever. I can see a range. To me, I can see a range. What is the range bound environment? This is Tuesday over here. No, this is Wednesday. Okay, so I've got a range bound environment. The ranges here for me is, let me mark out my black line. I've got this low here. You guys like SRs, I can use SRs right there here for you. That low here, for example, and then I'll use this high over here. Right? And that's a range band environment, and the midpoint comes to around here. Can you guys see how that's quite beautiful right there? The midpoint holds support over here, holds support there, comes down, retest it as resistance, shank down, support, retest the mid-range, shank down there. Now the question is, as long as this holds, we want a deviation to come back above here. Why? Because we're looking for bullish setups, because total 2 looks quite bullish. A pullback is a pullback, right? But ultimately, what I'm looking for is simply, let me get a different color pen, get my red pen, let it do its thing, right? Maybe come down over here, hold support. Once we come back up and hold above this, bullish price action, that's telling me we step back in the range. All this was just a deviation. Wherever the low is my invalidation, play it back up to the mid-range as a target there, and then from there, play it there and into the range highs over here. And that's it. Play the range highs. I'm not looking for the fucking these highs. I'm saying range highs. If we can break above the range highs, and then we can start looking for higher prices, continuation of the upside. But this is just a range bound environment until proven otherwise. We're just stuck. We're stuck in a range. We can actually play this range to like even the first couple of weeks of 2024. Possible. I don't fucking know. We'll find out in a couple of weeks time. Okay. RV. I'll have a look in RV in just a moment there. Just gonna go through a couple of alts here and there in terms of higher time frames and what I'm looking at, and looking for setups as well. So we've done Solana. We've done Inch. Let's do fucking, I don't know. We'll get another one. Fucking one last one actually. Let's go Matic. Our good old friend Matic. I'm in a dirty swing long on Matic, right? I think I explained that on Twitter already, but I'm in a dirty ass swing long anyway. So I'm still holding my swing longs in there. I'm just looking for another entry itself. But Matic itself, as you can see, Just drop it down to the 4. I think the 4 hours, whoopsie, makes a bit more sense. In terms of what's going on, the price action, what we had before, is simply this high, this high over here. Whoopsie daisy, can I use this? Can I use that? Yeah, I can use this. So something like this, as you can see, got resistance over here. Whoopsie daisy, got resistance over here, breaks above it, holds support. It gets underneath it, holds support right here, and then shoots up for liquidity. Liquidity's been taken out. I mean, I had a plan from here actually. You know, looking at this, looking at something like that. That was what I was looking at originally as well. So we broke out of that, and you can see it holds support there perfectly fine. On the weekly, right? Let's have a look at something. I want to have a look at something on the weekly before I drop it, before I go any further. Right, on the weekly, yeah, on the weekly, what we've got here is ultimately price was acting as a resistance over here in this area here. It was resistance somewhere, and the question is where it is. Like what was acting as resistance? It was an order block up here. This area here, fuck, the whole market was just holding it, capping it down, capping it down, capping it down. As you can see, we shoot this low here, final retest, sells off, comes in there, there's a deviation, sells off, comes in there, there's a deviation, sells off there. But we start making higher lows, and then we finally get above there. I mean, the weekly closes in about 3 days and so on like that, but we'll see how it goes. But does it get back underneath and start selling off, or is it going to hold above it and shoot up for higher prices coming into this area? Oh, I mean, we've actually already come into this area, to be honest. I think we did. Yeah, we've already come into this area there, and that's the next area of support. So we are playing within these two parts as long as we find support. So I'm gonna mark this out. Let me mark this out. Yeah, I've marked that out there, and let me mark the other block over here, right? And ultimately, right, as a higher time frame picture, what I've got here is a range bound environment. I believe this is a monthly range. Let me just show you off the monthly. This is May 2021's range, as you can see on the monthly. Support, resistance, deviation, comes up there, deviation. We're looking for the mid-range to range high. That's all we're looking at. If I'm bullish on Total 2, I think it's fucking perfectly fine, okay? So, 1 minute. Okay, some questions over here. Got to get down above the downtrend before I can't even speak. Looks to be stuck at 50. I think it's a different chart as well. So I'm kind of. Oh yeah, this is freaking Solana there. Solana and fucking Inch. Realistic, saying Audi looks interesting. Low time frame according to your system, but already gave a trigger. I'll have a look at Audi as well. So we've got RV and Audi. We can have a look. Kaiser is saying when you're trying to draw a range, I got this fucking heart here, bro. It's kind of fucking annoying. So basically, I'm watching it from my phone, innit, right? I got a little heart here, and it blocks the fucking view. Fucking stupid ass motherfucker, innit? How do I get rid of this shit? When you're trying to draw a range on the 2 hours, for example, but the chart is not clear, do you go for lower time frame for better view? No, I go higher time frame. Higher time frame, better. You know, that's the secret for me. You know, and that's how I used to do it on lower time frame a lot, and it works, but it doesn't really work. The best way, the best system I've ever actually, managed to grow out of it and improve on is actually like going up the time frame. For example, if you're looking at the 2 hours, shoot up to the 4 hours. If you can't find it in the 4 hours, shoot up to the daily. If you can't find the daily, shoot up to like the fucking like a weekly as well, and it makes a lot more sense then. Name, what's going on there? Have you gone for the low caps you're in? Not yet. I'm gonna go that in just a moment there. I'm just going for some of the large caps in terms of trading scenarios that we can look for in terms of longs actually. Let me finish this off. That's it, we're good, right? So that's what it comes down to. So we are stuck in between these 2 points over there that we discussed off the weekly, as we discussed there. So now I'm going to zoom into the lower time frame and see how this looks like. Okay, I'm dropping down to the daily, and as you can start to see, it comes up as resistance and looking at potential support. So let me drop it down one more time onto like the 4 hours and see what we got. Number one, where did we come in support? If we are stuck, if this is going to be support, we are finding support off potentially this low here. Now that low is holding support. Do we have a range? Potentially we have a range, and I'll just talk about that in just a moment there itself. You know, so if this is going to be support, we need to see bullish price action with Total 2 coming back to the order block itself, taking out these highs. Once we step back in, play it up all the way to the 25%, which is freaking $1.19. I think $1.19 is very, very possible in this now. Going to the 4 hours, do I have a range bound environment? Let me hide all this shit and make this a lot more clear. Yes, I do. I absolutely fucking do. What I've got is, let me just bring this out, trend line. That's the high. And that's the low. Right? as you can see, let me drop it down to like the 1 hour. You can see, well, on the 4 hours makes more sense really, isn't it? On the 4 hours, what we got is resistance, oopsie daisy, resistance, deviation, come back into the mid-range to range low, so like to support. So go to the 1 hour, kind of missed out an opportunity, but it's not fucking too much of a problem really and truly speaking. Let me drop it to 15 and see if I can find something a bit more clear. So this, all the block here is holding support, right? So I would like potentially a pullback into this would be perfectly fine. If it comes back into here, and then how do I actually look for a long itself? God, you can draw your trend lines over here. So for example, I think this trend line over here will give me a bit more of a help there. Let it do its thing, break above this, bullish price action, off we go into the mid-range. This is my confirmation there. If you want to enter in with a being aggressive, your stop loss will have to be here, right? If we break above these highs and we're carrying on for higher, you can enter in again. Stop losses here. You can play like a bit more aggressive with a stop loss there. Entirely up to you how you want to play it. Into the mid-range into the range highs, and then once we break out of the range highs, do we actually ping pong it back down to range low? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out there. But ultimately, I know the breakout is once we get back up, hold above this level there, step back into the order block there, breaking these highs itself, bullish price action into the mid-range, which is around about 113. From 113, the next set of targets will be 119, and that's matic done, finish. Galas. Right? What do you think about the SNX charts? I'll have to have a look in a bit as well. So we are going 44 minutes. Fucking hell. I swear to God, time goes too quick anyway. So that's really when it comes down to in some of these alts there. As you can see ranges being built. You can see I mean, I can do a bunch of alts really and show as many ranges out there and show you how to play. It's going to be quite boring itself, but you can see there's a consolidation, you know. Like one thing I've learned over the years is consolidation, right? The longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout. So however long it wants to consolidate, let it do its thing. Bear in mind, it is the end of year coming up, so you want to be a bit more calm and a bit more easy as it is. So let's go into some of the low caps. I mean, right? I think that's everyone wants to know some of the low caps that, you know, to make a lot of money here and there. You know, what's worth doing it and whatnot. What I'm in personally, I'm in par. So I've been in it since day one. I've done over 100 X's on as it is from day one itself. I posted on Twitter. It's all out there. You can search it up. You know, I'm not bullshitting it or whatnot. I know. I never entered it in. I literally entered in a 1 million market cap as well, and it's now 117 million market cap. So like, well, I've done a fair amount itself, and I'm still holding my tokens as it is. You know, but like, it doesn't really matter too much. But you can clearly see, and also some of the baddest motherfuckers that, you know, these guys are. They've got they've got their own ecosystem on CoinMarketCap. Let me see if I can find it. It's gonna be, yeah, they got the Parler ecosystem there, you know, with a trading volume of 50 million, market cap of 622 million on the ecosystem. They got some coins I'm in. Inspect is one of them that I've got a long time hollow bag in there. Shido, I've seen that a lot. I haven't got any Shido. A2 I would, you know, like, I haven't got personally myself. Parler I do. Floki, I've got a little bit of bag. I've got a bag of Floki too as well. You can't go wrong with Floki. But they've actually grown as an AI project as well. They, you know, so fucking, it's one of those ones. Like, I generally believe they're a multi-billion-dollar market cap industry. You know, I think they can hit over a billion minimum, right, which is about a 10x from here. But ultimately, what I'm looking at is this is a range band environment. This is the range low. That's the range high. Resistance. We're here. Support. That's the mid range. You know, does it come back as a pullback into here? Perfectly fine. Once it holds above this, bullish price action above the mid range, going to the range high, which comes into about fucking 20 cents. Reclaim the 20-cent marker, then the doors open up, and I think we hit 200 million market cap. I really think we will, you know, above 200, above this, if we start doing something like that, this is fucking bullish. If I'm bullish on total too, I'm gonna be bullish on some of my bags as well. So, you know, what do you think about ETF? If ETF is rejected, we carry on going up higher. I want it to be rejected. I don't think we need ETF right now. I think the ETF situation is a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of malarkey. That too many mans out there are thinking, yeah, it's great. Yeah, it is great, but I think it's by the rumor, sell the news. I generally believe it's one of those things. So we've got a halving to come up to. What should get? My opinion is it's going to get declined. It's going to be delayed in January, and it's going to be approved around March, which is, I've been saying about a month before the halving. We're going to have a local top. Watch how it does. If it does do that, I'm a fucking genius. I swear to God. it makes too much sense, in my opinion. It really, really makes too much sense. I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, because if you think about it, look at BTC, bruv. And do you know what I mean? Just all you gotta do is zoom out. All of you guys can do this. You don't really need me to start to give you an idea. I think there's too many over bullish people out there, which is perfectly fine. But you gotta actually look at it in terms of a simple break it down point of view. You know, we're making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. We are making higher highs without any ETF. Do you have any ETF spot buys? No, none whatsoever. Nothing's been approved. SEC keeps declining it. SEC keeps rejecting shit since the whole fucking year, bro. Do we need ETF right now? I don't think we need it. ETF's gonna come through eventually, but when it does, it does. So for me, it's just play the market. Do you know what I mean? So in the meantime, I'm gonna carry on my fucking alts. So I've got Paul, and I'm long on Paul itself, and I'm gonna hold this this project itself. I'm staking my tokens there, so I'm not tempted to sell it too early. I generally believe in hodling my tokens as it is. That's one of them itself. Another one that I've got is AIT. AIT is at 11 million market cap itself. Dude, we actually fucking recovered on that one. So I had a fucking I had a tweet on AIT that buying below fucking 10 cents is a bargain. You're not going to see these prices again. If you're not following my Twitter, you really need to pay attention. There's some alpha, there's some bullshit I do tweet and whatever, but it is what it is. For me, that was a range low, and this is a range high, and we're just at range high. Right? So you can see that's resistance. That's a deviation. That's a deviation. That's resistance. Support down here. This whole thing was a deviation. Bullish price action. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Once we break above this, this is going to be multi. This is going to be crazy. 11 million market cap right now. I've bought my tokens. I'm holding my tokens there. I'm chilling on this one. This is another AI project itself, and I'm quite bullish on that, and that's one thing I'm looking at. But that's a range bound environment, and again, if I'm bullish on total 2, I'm bullish on my alts as well. So it's one of those things that you actually buy and hold on to it. It's entirely up to you guys, but it is what it is. Do I also play any Solana tokens? Weirdly enough, right? So I'm going to be open about this. I got into a private sale, right, with a project called Mixmob. Now Mixmob, it's brought to you by the team by Halo and FIFA. The team is stacked, fully stacked. I've got I'm personally invested in the project itself, and that's a Solana project as well, which should be launching, I believe, in January. Has there been any updates? Is there any updates? Let me have a look. Mixmob. Guard strategy is a GameFi token. It's wicked. I think it's fucking sick. Oh yeah, and also the team of Solana are actually backing it as well. So it's always giving me a fucking bullish vibe as well. So do we have any fucking updates on when? No, nothing that of yet. Okay, nothing of yet. But I believe it's going to be launching around like sometime in January itself. That's the only Solana tokens I've got. I will end up having as well. There's a pre-sale open. I don't think the pre-sale is open for the public pre-sale yet, but I'm just waiting for more information before I actually post it up. That's what it is. I'm just waiting on information. Until then, I can't really say anything just yet, but that's one that I'm actually in personally, and I'm actually in it for the long term. Long-term speaking as well. I'd rather buy projects quite early on and hold on to it going forward. Another one, let's have a quick look. Another one that I'm in. Oh, AIX. Since we're talking about AI, AIX is one that I'm actually very bullish on as well. This is the range bound environment. We're still stuck in this range itself. If you guys followed me back when I actually bought in, I bought in as at 2 cents. I'm up 10x as it is. It's at 70 million market cap there. The whales burnt $1.5 million worth of tokens. No, sorry, 1.1 million was burnt, and then 400k was given in towards the treasury itself. That's they'll be using it for marketing and all that kind of stuff as well. Cigarettes. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic project as well. And they've got backed. So one of the Ethereum, I'm just passing on some information from AI about AIX itself. One of the wallets. I bought 20 Ethereum not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago or whatnot. It's from a wallet called Ethereum Foundation, which we can suspect Vitalik is involved in this. Weirdly enough, Vitalik's boy, who's also part of the Ethereum Foundation, is actually now has become an advisor for AIX as well. So that's another long-term hodl project in my opinion as well. 17 million market cap as well at the moment. I think we can shoot this up to 100 million and start going to $1 billion as well. So which even then to $1 billion, 20 million market cap to $1 billion is what? 50x. So that's another one that I'm actually in. But really, again, where you can see Just because I love ranges. I'm just going to talk about ranges itself. That's a range band environment that we've got over here. Resistance, deviation, support, deviation. This is all consolidation. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the breakout itself. What will confirm us the breakout is going to happen to the upside is all we need to do is reclaim this area here. What's capping the market? I'd say it's this low here. So let price get back up. So you maybe come back down here for another buying opportunity there. Hold above there, you got a buying opportunity after 19 cents or so. Once we reclaim above 26-25 cents, then I think we go up higher prices for 50 million market cap itself, and then we got further higher there. So head and shoulders, you see, look, head and shoulders, right, only works out like when it's fucking in bearish. Because how many times have you seen this, right? You gotta remember, right, like one thing I've learned, right, is that when you got the pattern, it only matters when there's a context. How many times have you seen patterns like this? You know, this rising wedge. What is this? This tends to be bearish. Bearish pattern. So you're expecting a breakdown for you to look for a short in it. But have you not seen some of these patterns that are breaking out and then shooting up higher? So if the total 2 is bullish, right, it's perfectly fine. I mean, look, again, AIX could go down lower and whatnot, maybe down into these areas as a deviation. I'm not saying it's not possible. Maybe it can come down up to here as a deviation into this area, into that 14-15 cents. Gives you an opportunity, step back into here, and then that's the deviation of the range, possibly. But again, look, it's weird for me to tell you to go buy. I'm not saying buy now. I'm not saying go to Uniswap and buy it. I'm just showing you the charts itself, because I'm up 10x. So like some people might be saying, yo, but Denk is shilling his bags. Yeah, I am. So what? I'm sure some of you guys actually in AIX. Someone is like, say, you know, I'm guessing some of you guys in some of these crazy meme coins, like, you know, like Pepe and all the other stuff as well. But wouldn't you want to show your own bags? I'm just showing my own bags too as well. And I generally, and I'm going into projects that's more, to me, it's long term. It's long term plays really as well. So these are not like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy into it and then like the short term in about a week time or 2 weeks or even a month, I'm going to sell and walk away. No, I'm in it for the long term. I've staked my tokens on AIX and I'm playing this game for the long run, okay? So, but the head and shoulders is weird though. Like that's, so you can say that's the left head and that's the right the head. So the left shoulder's head and then the right shoulders as well. Yeah, if it goes down lower, then it's buying opportunities for everyone else. But one thing is, once we reclaim above 26 cents, then I think that's the game up on the upside there. So we'll see how that plays out. But to me, patterns only matters if the context is bearish. So if you got a bearish context, right? Then that means bearish patterns are going to play out. How many times are we seeing price action break out of these? You know, we're doing this, like one of my favorite patterns like that. This is bearish, lower lows, lower highs, isn't it? Then we break out, then bang, suck your fucking mum in it. You know what I'm saying? But like, does that like, this is a pretty much bullish pattern because we break out market structure showing higher highs. But the context on crypto overall is bullish. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those ones. But like, yeah. You know, I'm not a pattern guy. I'm not a really pattern guy. I'm a range guy. Name is asking, are you in any first movers in meme like Ninja? Nah. I missed it out. Ninja, I missed out. When I look at something like Ninja, right? I said it yesterday with Omni. I'm trying to bring up Ninja. I don't think it's on Ninja. I don't know where it is. I don't know. I don't think it's on Dix. So if you got a link, I'll go onto it. But I'm not in Ninja. I'm not in Ninja myself. VMint. Is it VMint? There's another one I want to talk about. Oh, Cent. Cent is a small cap as well that I'm in. Right? Now, Cent, right, I don't know if you guys are aware, but like my good old friend, Kazi, actually posted this up, and this is from Kazi's page itself. Where was it? I'll try to find it. He said something about Cent, and I wanna share it with you as well. VRD. Bro, this guy posts too much. Oh, there we go. The penguin is following Cent. Sir Pentoshi, do you have a bag, sir? Now, he's following Cent. I'm not using him. I was like, yo, because he's actually in Cent as well. He's following them, or he might have a bag. I can't confirm nothing, obviously. But it doesn't mean that, like, yeah, just because of a certain influencer, you should buy into it. But it does help when you have big influencers actually pushing the market, the project itself. So Cent is one of them. It's an AI-driven insight from Project's chart. You can check out the thing. Again, I'm not a fucking fundamentalist. when people tell me, yo, look at this project, I look at charts, and when I bought in Descent, I bought in Descent really fucking early. So again, consolidation over here, I'm pretty up from all the way up there. But as you can see, the market structure is looking quite bullish. We've got a trend line there. So many people will be looking for to short. You can't short you can't short this actually, but you won't be able to look to shorts until we break down over here. Breaking market structure at the moment, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. Is this the higher low? I don't know, but to me this is the higher low needs to that's holding. If you break out this low, then it's low, and then it's bearish market structure, then it breaks down, then we start looking for shorts itself. But this is to me a very, very fucking bullish chart itself. It's fucking on the upside there. I'm quite happy to hold on to this. Bear in mind, when I post this up on Twitter, this was posted on around at 4 million market cap, right? So it's now done a 2x there. Again, I really think we can actually get 100 million. Then we'll see what happens afterwards, going up to the upside there. So, SNX is good for a long time. I don't know. Like, I'm not too sure about SNX. I don't really hear much people talking about SNX. Personally speaking, I'm in an SNX long personally. But I don't know. I don't know if it's worth actually holding there. So that's a couple of the low caps I'm in. But let's have a quick look at RV, because I know someone actually asked me RV, and it is coming to an hour, and I want to bring this up quite short now. Now RV is an interesting one, right? So I've got a range here. What's that fucking range? That's July's low, July's high, right? Got it. Let me bring up to the monthly, right? And then let me just pull this across right here, and the low comes into what? 54.70. Right, change this color to purple. So this is a large cap itself. You can see the market's moving up there. All right. Now the question is, right, so if you can see this range bound environment, we've got support over here. Whoopsie daisy. The support over here, deviation, support, deviation, right? So this low is very, very key. That high is also key. Deviation, resistance, and we're pushing up. We're taking out these highs over here. Now, if I want to go for a long, can I go for a long right now? No. I'd rather wait it out to see what are my next opportunities. If we break out to push up to the upside, what is the key areas of resistance? Let me have a look. Weekly. Yeah. Key areas of resistance would be somewhere around here. This area here. Just about, or can I mark this up this here? Yeah, I think it's this. Yeah, I'll go for that. Around that level there. So mark that as orange, so I know that's the weekly. Now, how would I actually look for a longs to that SR? Go to the daily there. Now, as you can see, right, similar things. Let's go to like a 4 hours. I might get something off the 4 hours. Let me have a look at this. I got you. So this area here, this candle right here to there, that's the one that's capping the market there. So we need to flip that, right? So I'm going to bring this all together in just a second. Just bear with me just a moment there. Okay, cool. There we go. So what we got here is an order block here, sells off. Resistance, sells off. Resistance, sells off. We're at resistance over here and we're pushing down. We're right over here. So ideally, for me to go for a long with RV, to go for $162, right, what I need to see is quite evidently is a nice clean close above this area there. Bullish price action. This is saying to me, go for a long to target that level there. I can put a stop loss there quite aggressively. In validation, I can put it over here. However long you want to do, if you want to, whatever you want to do, that's ideally how I like to look to play RV itself. Ultimately, right, it's still at resistance. We have to agree to that. What we want to see, we want to see a reclaim and pushing up, a displacement away from the range high. We could come back down for a retest and then do something like that and then reclaim this up higher there. That's perfectly fine. But ideally, if we start breaking down below the range highs, then it's bearish. We can look to go to target and target here. I won't really look for shorts. I would like to see if we can actually come into this area here. Maybe do a bit of a deviation, hold above this level there, show me a bullish price action. I'm quite happy to go for a long there, and once we reclaim this level there, it's a confirmation to go for higher prices to $162, and that's it. That's what I'm looking for when it comes for RV. There was another one that was asked. RV Audi USDT. Let's have a look. Fuck it up, bro. How can I chart this shit? Well, I can. Alright, so this is very bullish as it is, as you can see. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. You know, this is the low itself that needs to hold, but there's a range band environment. Let me have a look at the daily. Let me see if I've got a range band environment. Yeah, I do. So I've got a range high over here. Put that as blue. And I got a range low right over here. It's blue. Now, as you can see, support, resistance, breakout. We're holding support. Perfect. All right, so it's starting to show strength for bullishness. Drop it down to the 4 hours. Let's have a look at what we got. Let's have a look. Right, so we are holding off this level here. There we go. That's what we're holding. Right, so the question is, can we get one more a pullback in here? And then I can, you know, if you want to go for a long, you can put a stop loss below here. Absolutely. What will increase the probability is once we break above this high over here, so step above there is continuation for higher prices. And then again, how high this is, I have to work out a range, but it's gonna take me a little bit of time. I ain't got all too long to actually really spend on Audi, but that'll be the bullish plan itself we're looking for as well. We can actually come back down, really. I mean, ultimately, right, we could come back down, the either pull back itself, but once we reclaim and hold above this, I'm expecting this to act as support, because that was resistance right here, sell off. We broke above it, hold support. This is all support until proven otherwise. If you break down below here, that's bearish, but right now support is acting. I'm not going to start shorting it until we start losing this level there. I'll just be looking for longs again. Total 2 looking bullish and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna do one more SNX and I'm gonna bounce off as well. Fucking hell, I'm out of breath, bruv. Did legs today, you know. Fucking 5 plates, bruv. 5 plates, man. 200 kilos. I ain't done that. I've never done that in my life, so fucking hell. I'm a bit dizzy from that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Right, SNX. Why is it like that? There we go. It's one of these coins over here. You know, we're at resistance. To me, it's a range band here. Same thing. July's range is actually one of the key areas. 444 is the area I'm looking at. So let's see. 444 there. So that's the range band environment that we're stuck in, as you can see. You know, stuck in this consolidation here. All I'm looking for me to go for longs is break above here. Bullish price action, off we go. We can start going for higher prices. In generally speaking, obviously this is the old Dank, bro. This is how shit he was. You see how the shit that fucking lines on stuff like that. Fucking hell, bro. Old Dank was shit. New Dank is fucking saying to myself like, yo, I'm fucking embarrassed. Sorry for you guys to see this bullshit here. You shouldn't be seeing that crap. But anyways, you can see, really, I mean, look, if you want to go for a long-term hold, perfectly fine. It's absolutely okay. You know, I don't think it's a big issue there, you know, because if you look at it this way, this is the consolidation range. Once we start breaking out of it, then you start looking what are the key areas of resistance. You know, I've got one over here. Whoopsie daisy. Got one over here. That's going to be key areas of resistance, which comes into about $7.39, call it $7.40. Then after that, your next sets are, you're going to be looking at this level here. Right, so it's all playing about within this. So we got to, you know, once at the moment we are stuck in this range here. If we break above this, we're gonna play up to this range over here in this area here, and we break above this, and then we play to the next set of range, which is this range here. Does that make sense? So it's all about looking for the ranges that we're playing in. So SRs I'm using as well. Massive accumulation, yeah, absolutely massive accumulation. So like it's moved up from like fucking the lows, like it's only moved up 2x. You know, do you know what I mean? So correct me if I'm wrong with SNX. Is that a Solana coin? Am I right in saying SNX is a Solana is a coin that's on the Solana ecosystem? Something's telling me that it is. Maybe it's the letter S. I could be wrong. But if I'm looking at this, let me actually mark out these levels as well for my own peace of mind, because I'm going to be trading it. Because I'm in trades itself. So make that mark that as black. Mark this one over here. And delete that. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Cool. Zero's not sure himself. Bless him. So yeah, whoopsie daisy. This side. Right then. So what we're looking at, massive accumulation. We're looking for the breakout, right? So if you, I mean, it's hard to say to go for a long right now. I'm not gonna lie to you, because we're finding resistance of the range high, and that's the only downside right now. So we're gonna be focusing on this little section over here. We're focusing on this area here when we get a breakout, because remember, we're looking bullish on total too. So it could do like a bit of a trend line over here, down or whatever it wants to do. Break above this, you know, perfectly fine. But for me, honestly speaking, get a clean close above this, bullish price action. It's a nice easy long. This is your complete invalidation, and then we start pushing up to these highs over there around 740. But if I'm looking at this, right, let's have a look. I think I found it. No. You see, I'm going to show you something, right? What I've got here, I've got this. This is the last up candle to the market down, right? And that's where we're stuck in that range bound environment of this candle there. So you see how we got, you know, start breaking down, makes a lower high, lower lows, comes back close enough there, sells off. Resistance sells off, a hold support pushes up there, resistance over here, deviation, support, you know, support again, resistance, and it could potentially come down to the $3.60 move over here. So if it does this, right, I'm quite happy for a trade to go into the midpoint to the range high. Once we break above this, and then we can start playing into the $4, whatever what's the high it comes into, fucking 740. Then that'll be the way I'll be looking for SNX. Hopefully that helps out, guys. All right then. Any questions before I head off? Any questions? This is your moment of truth. You guys can ask me anything, whether it's just to ask me questions on like football or shit like that, or you know, ask me freaking charting questions or whatever, psychology questions. Just ask away, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's my fucking. There we go. Man, I'm so shattered. I tell you something right though. Literally before I came on, about an hour and a half, I had a fucking migraine in it, and I was like, oh man, I really want to do a stream in it, right? I really want to get the activity going on Twitter, but I was having a bit of a migraine. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sleep it off. So I had a bit of a nap for like a good 20 minutes, and then after that, like I woke up, you know, had something to eat and whatnot. Came over here, and I'm like, all right then, you know what? Focus in it. So hopefully it doesn't look like that I fucking was lagging too much and whatnot, or I look like fucking shit. So, but if I do apologize. It literally was. I just wasn't my 100% self, but nonetheless, I'm here though. But yeah, I think there's no questions. All right then, cool. We're gonna leave it as it is, and I'll try and do a stream coming up. I don't know, tomorrow or maybe on Saturday itself. I will let you guys know in advance on Twitter. Cantona Van Nistelrooy. You see, when I was watching Cantona, I was a kid. I was a very small kid, right? And Cantona had something about him where he actually was fucking special, you know. He was brutal, very brutal, and his vision was something else. Van Nistelrooy was very different. Van Nistelrooy was very one-sided in the goal. He's just looking at the goal and just gonna bang it in. He's like your Haaland basically, and like Cantona was a strong team player. So it depends. But I grew up as a kid watching Cantona, but I was really young. But then I appreciated Van Nistelrooy because I understood football by that time. So when it came to those two, I'm gonna have to go with Van Nistelrooy in terms of my brain, but my heart tells me Cantona. I'm a big United fan, so Cantona's always been one of my. You see, Eric was one of your favorite one. David Beckham was. David Beckham for me as a young kid. You have to bear in mind, you know, everyone wanted to be like Becks. So. Everyone wanted to be like Bex, and I think Bex was fucking sick. He was a very sick player as well. Unfortunately, you know, he fucked up with Ferguson, and Ferguson got him out. But yeah, any more though? What about you? I mean, who do you guys think is going to be the next star players, man? The Ballon d'Or winners. You know, that's the question. You know, like Mbappe or Haaland. You know, I've seen Haaland at the Man City game quite a number of times. Thank you, OKX. Appreciate that. Shout out to them. And shout out to Raheem. And Haaland is something special. But he doesn't have... He's suffering right now because he doesn't have a Kevin De Bruyne with him. Kevin, right, KDB, he's a fucking geezer and a half, man. Like, the way he sets the balls up is something spectacular. So, he's struggling right now. But I do think Haaland's going to be... a massive king of football in the future as well. So it's going to be very interesting there. But anyway, let's leave it as that. You guys take care of yourself. I'm gonna fucking call it a day and catch you guys soon. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for actually being on there, and we'll speak soon. Take care.